I'm definitely not where I want to be in life. And I think the reason why is that there's this three-headed beast that I need to slay in order for me to really make the progress that I want to make. And that three-headed beast consists of analysis paralysis, the fear of failure, and the fear of other people's opinions. All three of these things have caused me harm, to say the least, in trying to be the person that I want to be. Analysis paralysis, if you don't know, is kind of this idea that you can be someone who over analyzes things. And so for, if you're like me and I grew up in someone who I was in honors classes, AP, and was considered the like smart kid, this can be something very true of people like that we overthink things so much that we don't really make decisions because we're so busy trying to understand the details of everything and how maybe things will end up going rather than just doing the thing first and just kind of following through with that or making the decision and just seeing where it takes us. Fear of failure is pretty self-explanatory, but I think for me, it was hard because I feel like I grew up in an environment where failure wasn't really an option, and I think that created in me this kind of perfectionist type person. And I grew up too as a child of immigrants, and so sometimes it felt like success was the only option, that failure wasn't really an option. And even like the weight of my success, or like my success kind of dictated my family's future. And there's like this weight of like, I need to be successful in order to help my family progress. And so what that did is it prevented me from doing things that were really, really challenging or super risky because there was the fear of failure with those things. And I didn't want to fail. We know that really in life, if you want something that's very rewarding, you have to be able to take risks. And I just wasn't a risk taker. And then I would say too, the last head of the beast is, the fear of other people's opinions. And I think for me, this kind of played out in me wanting to be a people pleaser and wanting to have a good reputation. And growing up in that way, I just found myself like really caring about what other people think. And I think I found a lot of value in how other people viewed me. And so here I am now in my early 30s trying to fight back against this beast. And I feel like I've made some progress in it. When it comes to analysis paralysis, something that's really helped me is really the simple thought, like this really simple line of, you can change your mind. And so it's like, if I make a decision or if I decide to go a certain way, I can change my mind and I can change trajectory, change paths, change a decision. Like, I'm not stuck in a decision that I make. And I think that's been helpful for me. I would say for the fear of failure, I've really tried to adopt this idea of allowing myself to be a beginner and allowing myself to suck at something, and that it's normal. And almost thinking to myself back to when I was a kid and when I was a baby, a toddler, and I was learning how to walk, I was probably falling a lot before I got back up. And then eventually I started walking. And so allowing myself to be a beginner and like allow that process to be messy and giving myself permission to do that has helped me in that. And then lastly, I would say for fear of what people, like other people's opinions, I would say I just think of this idea I came across on the internet called Sonder, and understanding that I'm not the main character in everyone's lives. People are not thinking about me 24/7. If I trip and fall and people laugh at me, they're gonna forget it next week or the month later or the year after that or whatever. 10 years down the line, that's not even going to be anything that they remotely remember. And so just reminding myself that I do not have to like please other people, and also I'm not the main character in people's lives, that people have their own lives that they live, this idea of Sonder. And because of that, it frees me up to be like, okay. And when I scale outside of myself and think about all these people and the lives that they're living and all the things that they're worried about, suddenly what I'm doing becomes really small and insignificant. So we're slaying this beast. It's taking a while, but I think it's going to help me become the person that I want to become. So